Well, so one of the things that keeps coming that I see happen every time is the conversations about cliquishness, which is related to the thing that you were just talking about. And it's something that I don't think there's like a really great answer, but I'm interested in your perspectives. That in my thinking, like there's literally only so much emotional energy that I can commit to only so many people, right? So like my closer friends, the people that I want to make sure that I'm spending more time with, just because of the nature of life and time and my energy to be able to do this, is inherently limited. So and any person cannot give to just everybody and be literally equally accepting and equally inclusive in terms of time commitment. And that makes a lot of people feel really bad because, I want to connect with this other person in particular, but they're not making time or room for me, or especially at the level that I want. So how do you feel about like navigating that? Because I feel like that's a very important quality for a lot of people to have a good con, is to not come out of it feeling like they wasted the time because they didn't develop exactly the right connections that they wanted to, or that people were like snubbing them, even if it was just, I'm with these people and I'm sorry that I can't bring everybody in with me, or that the party was literally could only hold 50 people and you were 51 or whatever it happens to be. There's that a sense of exclusion, even if it's not like, oh, don't let that guy in. It's just like there's nobody else can fit into my friend circle right now or into this room.
Well, I mean, I think people should show up with the expectations of being snubbed. I mean, I just think that's way more fair to yourself to go in and understand that unless you already know all of these people and have invites to all of these things you want to do, odds are you're not going to be able to see or do everything you're going to want to do because you're not in those circles yet. Formulate plans on how to be in the circle. Like, learn who's in charge of these things, who are the key people that are running these things, and then get to know them and try to do so in, like we talked about, in a at least semi-organic way, because it just seems like you want to show up to the party, you're not getting invited.
What about creating your own space, your own circle, sort of
There's
trying to
400,000 affiliates. I mean,
yeah.
I think it's disingenuous to assume people are going to have the ability to do so easily.
No, I just mean like coordinating with a handful of people that you already know and seeing if they want to bring a small number of people that they already know, right? So like that's sort of like some of the organic networking without having to rely on a relationship you don't already have with somebody who's maybe bigger in the scene or in the industry. And then, you are meeting some new people, and every once in a while, in the practical terms, one of them gets lifted up. You've already developed the relationship, or you get lifted up, you bring a couple of people with you. And then in the future, it's working out where you're, kind of the big dog.
I mean, we're in the entertainment business. So a lot of the analogs you can actually draw are between us and like say Hollywood or that kind of thing. So I gotta shout out Would You Kindly for this. They do a great job of being together and throwing a little shindig for people. You can go there and see people that you know and people you don't know. It's exactly
just went to their thing last night.
Yeah. So they had that last night. I remember going that at TwitchCon. It's possible. It's definitely possible. And I think affiliates can do that. I did that at other conferences. I had a bowling tournament way back in like 2006 at a South by Southwest. So it's like, hey, let's go bowling because not everybody can drink, and so that became like a 3 or 4 year thing. So like you just have to have the idea and just have a couple of people to spread that out and just go with it.
I think it's a really good example too, because like none of them were born like metric rich on Twitch. Like every single person in there, they all came up from the 0 viewer thing, right? So like nobody like they came over from something else, or they just like inherited like all their viewership. They bonded together. They just that party was sponsored by St. Jude because they have collectively raised over $500,000 for St. Jude.
Wow.
Because they bonded together and because they started creating relationships and opportunities for themselves and acting in a way that was consistent with where they wanted to be, not where they thought they already were. And I think a lot of that is that kind of like right approach and right attitude for networking, socializing, and mitigating your expectations, but also creating the opportunities.
There are a lot of awesome opportunities for creating stuff for people to have fun with. It's just a matter of actually, becoming the event planner for it.
Yeah. So this is something that I've started to learn a lot lately, or I've learned a bit recently. And that's like, you're not gonna be able to find and see everyone at a convention. Like, I used to get like kind of anxious because I felt like I needed to see everyone I knew. And it's at the point where there's just too many people, and everyone has such different schedules, especially TwitchCon. I feel like is particularly busy for people because, there's opportunities for everyone to do something. You're not gonna be able to see everyone, and that's okay. You should kind of embrace the time that you have with the people that you run into and that you get to talk to.
Absolutely.
And I think also with finding people in these cliques and stuff, I've outside of conventions, I've tried to make it more of an effort to actually just talk to my streamer friends outside of streaming, just kind of hit them up and DM them and stuff. And not everyone is going to respond immediately, and messages get lost, but you have to realize don't take that for granted, or don't hold it against anyone. Just realize everyone is busy, everyone has things going on. Embrace the conversations that you get to have, and try not to what you guys are saying, don't hold your expectations too high. Don't feel like you need to see everyone, you need to split your time up to make time for everyone.